Okay, so we've had our first appointment with John Doe. Now it's time to write the estimate. So we'll make sure that his status is in Write Estimate. And then we're going to use a Job Nimbus estimate today. You'd think the first thing we would do is go to the Financials tab and add an estimate, but there's actually a step I recommend doing first, and that's entering some products and services. If we click on the circle on the upper right-hand side and go to Settings, and scroll down near the end of the list, we'll find our products and services. Now this is where we can enter the individual products and services that we offer, how much they cost, and how much we sell them for. Now I'm also going to enable markup tracking while I'm in here, because this is very useful for something that we're going to do when we're working on the estimate. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a new product or service. You'll see the ones I have in there are very descriptive, like labor, material, extra material. We're going to make this one also very descriptive, more material. I suggest that you use shingles and the different items that you actually use in your business here instead of useless things like more material, but it's up to you. We can put in a description, which can show up for the customer. The unit, which is whether they come as items, as pallets, as bags, and so forth. The cost here is what it costs us. So more material costs us $100. And then we can choose to either set a markup, say this will cost 200%, and it'll automatically calculate the price, or instead, we can just set the price we sell it at, $150, and it'll automatically calculate the markup. Finally, we could add a tax. Let me show you what you have to do before you can add in a tax. So we're going to save this for the time being. And then we need to go into our features and disable QuickBooks. Now, if we're using QuickBooks, our products and services and our taxes will sync over. But if we're not using QuickBooks, and in this case I'm not, I need to turn off QuickBooks, and then I can add a tax here. We'll add a tax. Standard tax, very descriptive, of 7%. And then if I come to my products and services and click edit, we can add the tax right here. Now that we've got our products and our services put together, there's one other thing I suggest that we check before we go to actually make our first estimate. To do this, we're going to go into our templates, and let's take a look at our estimate template. I'm going to click edit right here. The title is what you'll see up here in black at the top. So this could say estimate, or this could say proposal. It could say sunshine and puppies, but once again, I don't find that particularly descriptive, and descriptiveness is key. You might wonder, what are these checkboxes for? It's a great question. I'm glad I asked it. Now you can click on these individual boxes, and that's going to say whether or not the customer sees this information. For instance, if we don't want them to see the sales rep info, we can unclick this, and you notice it vanishes right here. Generally, we don't want them to see the cost, what the materials cost us, but we may want them to see the price, the tax, and these various other items. If we scroll down, we're going to get a visual representation of what our estimate's going to look like. We can click into any one of these gray boxes to add in some text to customize this how we'd like it. You'll also notice this Insert Template Field button right here in the editor. We can use this to add a field that will automatically be populated with information from the contact or job that we're working on. For instance, their display name, their email, and so forth. Something that I see a lot of customers do is add their terms and conditions below the items here, left of totals, or in the document footer. Personally, I'm pretty happy with this estimate the way it is. But if you have anything that you'd like to do, this is the place to do it. Now, we've got all the grunt work out of the way, we've got all the back-end stuff out of the way. Well, let's go in and make an estimate. So we're going to type in John over here, jump right to him, and head over to the financials. Now, you might have guessed this already, but to add an estimate, you can click on the Add Estimate button to the right of the Estimates area. It'll ask us what design template we'd like to use. Currently, we just have one. And here is where we can enter our different items. Now, some people I have seen just enter a single item like roof replacement and put the entire cost just right there and the entire price right there. Other people itemize it down to every nail and shingle they're going to use. There's advantages to each one. In this case, I'm going to split the difference and just use all of the products I have in the system. Since there's only 4, this won't take very much time. We're going to add labor, material, extra material, and we need to add an item. There we go. So we can enter more materials. Fantastic. Now, I mostly like the way this looks, but I actually want to put more material before extra material. Awesome. I'm also going to use this Add Section button. Now, when we add a section, we can put in a title for that section. For instance, all materials. And then we get to choose whether we're showing the line items. In other words, this is just a header, and then all of the things look exactly the same. Hide line item amounts, in which case we only get the prices, but not the amounts or some of the details on those line items. Or we can hide the line items altogether and only have this header show up. I'm going to choose that one. And then we drag it to where we want it to be. Fantastic. Now, we probably want to change our quantities here. I'm going to go ahead and do that to make it look like we're doing some actual work. Here at the bottom, this is the markup slider. This allows me to either give a little bit of a discount or raise my price based on the job and how friendly the customer is. I'm going to add 10% right here, and I can do that with the slider, or I could change it in this box right here. At the bottom, we're going to see the cost, the markup, the subtotal, any taxes that we're applying, and the total that the customer will see. We can add a customer note here, which is something they'll see, or an internal note, which will only be shown to the people using Job Nimbus. Finally, at the bottom, you're going to see Save as Template and Save as Estimate. If we save this as an estimate, it'll appear right in John Doe's account. Nothing further is done. However, if we save this as a template, we can save ourselves a lot of time next time we need to make this same estimate, as often happens. So I'm going to save this as a template so I can show you what that looks like. The template name is Basic Template, and we're going to save that. Now you'll notice right below that design template, we now have saved estimates. Let's choose that basic template. Now, if we have to do this same sort of job over and over again, like the different sorts of roof, siding, gutters that a lot of companies do, we can choose that estimate template, customize our quantities. I'm moving this from 20 to 19 because it's a big difference. And then save it as an estimate. If we need to change or erase an estimate template, we come in here and click the pencil to change it, or the trash can to delete the template. All right, so now we have our estimate put together. In the next video, I'm going to talk about how you can get a signature on your estimate and how to email it out to your customer so you can get that signed.